Welcome back, everybody. There's a new integrative wellness center in Austin called the Sanctuary ATX, and founder Diana Lane is joining us today with some tips on stress relief and some ways to help us understand our body and our microbiome just a little bit more. Diana, good morning.
Good morning.
I know that it's hard to boil it down into about a minute or so, but if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about your journey in wellness and what got you to this point today.
You know, it really started with the journey of self and soul. I was in the ballet industry for about 10 years, growing up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and by 16, I had multiple eating disorders.
I believe it.
Super unhealthy, and I got into nutrition, but realized pretty quickly that nutrition was low-hanging fruit, no pun intended, and so I wanted to help save the world by healing hearts. My goal was to become a pre-med heart surgeon. I was in my undergrad program, and it wasn't more than a couple weeks into my capstone class where I was in a cardiac rehab internship that I realized this was end-of-life care. People were getting worse and not better. There was not a lot of prevention or interventions to help people on their wellness journey, and so I jumped ship to the east side, looked into everything: Ayurveda, naturopathy, chiropractic, OT, PT, and acupuncture just made the most sense. It's so comprehensive. It's a mind, body, soul system, and the science nerd in here is still here, so it's very scientific, which is so incredible because I'm able to fuse integration into my practice.
Yeah, Dr. Lucas Brown with Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness, who we speak with often, says, you know, for long-term, if you break your arm, Western medicine is your place. But if you're talking long-term care, long-term chronic pain, long-term management of symptoms, actually Eastern medicine might be a better fit for you. So you're actually a licensed acupuncturist. Would you mind telling us about that?
Yeah, so the licensure is actually a really complex medical training. So I still went to medical school, but it was Eastern and Western. So there are over 1,000 clinical hours in just our training alone on top of all the didactics. So no weekend courses, no like short fellowships. It's actually a very comprehensive system. We sit for national board exams and are licensed. So
wow, that is really cool. And you want to talk about how, you know, the use of acupuncture kind of can tie into our overall health. So actually a place I want to ask you about specifically is our gut. How can our gut's health tie into how we're feeling overall?
What I love about the system is it's so comprehensive. It's the things we eat, the things we think, even the colors that we wear that can make a difference of how we're acting and interacting with our own body. Yeah, and the surrounding areas. So gut health is really the key to everything, especially when it comes to our mental health and overall well-being. There's actually a set of neurons and things called neuropods that are connected from the brain to the gut, where they are signaling to each other. So a lot of us have what's called dysbiosis or leaky gut, which you hear about a lot these days. And that can create so many other imbalances in our body, like leaky brain, because those toxins are actually seeping into our system, into the bloodstream, and they can affect our neurology, they can affect our mental health and our overall well-being. So gut health is really the foundation on top of the cellular components of detoxification.
I was going to say, when you're saying the words leaky, I have a feeling that positive symptoms are not coming out next.
Yeah, well, what's wild is some of it can even be subclinical. People might not even know why they feel funky, but they just don't feel like themselves. And what's happening is those toxins are leaching into the bloodstream and eventually affecting the brain. So the junctions in the gut are actually leaky.
Wow. Okay. Interesting stuff. You actually brought a little demo for us today. We talked about it off camera. I was like, oh, like a little acupuncture crown. And you said this actually has a name with a crown in it.
Yeah, it's actually called the Crown of Happiness. It's
well, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful protocol. And we use a super fine filiform needles. They're so tiny, you almost can't even see them. And we just insert them into a couple places.
I'm going to allow myself to be crowned.
Specifically in the crown, and you can see, for the most part, for those of you who have needle phobia, you can't even feel them.
No.
They are so small.
It doesn't hurt at all.
And what they do is they actually stimulate the body to help itself heal. So you get signals. These points can be proven with CT scans, and these send signals to the brain to help your body repair itself. You also release all of the great healers of the body: endorphins, enkephalins, cytokines, natural killer cells, and it's relatively painless but very therapeutic.
I mean, you say relatively painless, I could barely feel that. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where I know a lot of folks are afraid of needles, but it just is not the sort of, it's not that big old shot that you get in your arm, you know, for the flu or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Acupuncture is so light. And what you're really trying to do is help reset systems, right?
Yes, reset systems and change the signaling pathways. So as you release the great healers of the body, including nitric oxide at the site, you're sending these signals to the brain. All of these points and meridians are actually proven with modern day imaging, and then you release all the endorphins to help you heal.
It's crazy how much we don't know. Okay, well, I would say I don't know. Diana knows. Just the more we learn about our bodies, it's really incredible how things are so intertwined. Okay, you want to stress the importance to folks about having a healing community, having a team to help support you. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, there is no one right answer, and integration really is the key. While every scope of practice has its limitations, I always tell my patients to have a mental health therapist on their team, to go get massage, to go get chiropractic, and even to see their Western practitioners, because integrative primary care is the wave of the future, and bringing in these holistic and more esoteric arts really is the key.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'm so sorry that we don't have more time for it, but in our last 20 seconds or so, the Longevity Lounge, brand new, just opened in June. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so the Longevity Lounge is part of the Sanctuary ATX, and it's a multifaceted healing lounge with vibroacoustic sound tables, red light and PEMF, passive stretch devices, Theraguns, AccuMats, tea stations, and it's a great place to bring friends or family. You can have a healing session together. It's really special.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Diana, thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us today. We appreciate it. To learn more, it's such a cool place, head to thesanctuaryatx.com.